큰 박수로 스티븐 기초의 상주 조정관님을 모셔보겠습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. Hello.
Hi Kim, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good morning, good afternoon.
Okay. So we are ready to hear your presentation.
Thank you Kim, and good morning friends, and happy International Youth Day 2024. My name is Steve Gichohi, and I'm calling in from Nairobi. I am working with the UN Resident Coordinator's Office in Nairobi, and I'm actually just in between the International Youth Day celebrations here in Kenya. We are hosting about 300 young people at the UN compound in Nairobi. So the sessions are just going on, and just to communicate just a message of greetings from the bigger team here as you also celebrate the International Youth Day. I am going to just make very brief remarks on how the UN in Kenya is actually working with young people on engaging with them on entrepreneurship, skills development, and basically looking at how young people can get meaningful outcomes from their engagement in terms of livelihoods. As you all know, colleagues and friends, I will start by just acknowledging that the UN Secretary General has actually made very clear that globally young people need to be brought at the center of development. It's no longer an option to engage with young people. It's actually a must that young people are at the center of leadership and the center of development. It's also important, colleagues, to just note that under the theme of this International Youth Day, Future Forward Youth Leading the Change on Digitalization for Sustainable Development, it's important to know that it's young people actually who are at the heart of innovations. It's young people who are actually at the heart of the digital revolution that we have seen all over the world. The UN Secretary General also, just to highlight his remarks over this International Youth Day, has also given us the importance of leveraging digital tools to tackle some of the most pressing challenges of our time, may it be climate change, may it be rising inequalities, but also the growing issue of mental health crisis that also affect a lot of young people. And also, it's also important to note that achieving the Sustainable Development Goals also requires that young people are brought in as equal players. So that has been the message of the UN globally, and has been also what the UN in Kenya has been doing. So here in Kenya, what we have done as the UN, we have many UN agencies. We have about 25 UN agencies. We have decided and been very deliberate to develop one program targeting youth skills development, youth employability, and youth civic engagement. So for us, we think that it is very crucial that young people are at the heart of looking at issues of civic engagement. You probably have all seen in the recent months that young people have been the forefront of demanding good accountability and good leadership in the country. So it's important to note that young people have already made their voices heard, and moving forward for the UN, what we have done is to have young people as part of our youth joint program. We have also developed another program that is dedicated on digitalization, and this is very unique because we think that young people can come in and also be part of this program that will transform Kenya. Kenya has one of the best connectivity in terms of internet. How can that then be converted in terms of ensuring that young people can reap the dividends of this connectivity? So those two programs have developed to ensure that in our UN programming, we have young people at the heart of everything that we are doing. And we are hoping that in the next 4 years, as we implement what we call the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, which is our strategy for 4 years, we are hoping that we will reach out to more young people. We know that the Kenyan population is majority of it is young people. So we believe that even in our own programming as the UN, we also need to have these young people at the heart of that programming. Lastly, I would just like also to note that the UN has critically looked at young people as part of the population that should not be left behind. So part of those populations that we target, young children, young people, children, women and girls, as well as people living in the informal settlements, are also part of the UN programming that most of our programming is targeting. So it is important to note that as we celebrate this International Youth Day, For the UN Kenya, we have just gotten to the point of launching our joint youth program. People join the other cross-cutting programs that we have developed. We also believe that this will also help on issues of promoting innovation. It will also help us, most importantly, to tap into the young people's capacities to be able to bring change into the country and also into the region. So we would like to celebrate this day, but just also giving a message of hope to young people across the world, that it is the time for us young people to be able to be part of the change and not to be just to be engaged, but also to be part and parcel of that change that we look forward to. I think the last thing from here and from myself would be that it's critical that we are involved in our own decision making. And also in the future that would affect our lives. So for young people, it's also to encourage them not to feel that you're not part of a process by just contributing into it, but also being part of the results that come out of that process. So thank you very much, Kim and the organizers of this event, and we look forward to also sharing what our messaging from Kenya and also from the region is all about. You can follow UN Kenya on Twitter and X. You'll find us there. You'll find the event that we are carrying out here. Thank you so much.